Well, on Tuesday evening, Saints travel to Leicester. This is the rearranged fixture following their FA Cup run. I mean, it seems slightly less important than it did 48 hours ago. They had a win at the weekend, Steve, but they were quite lucky, weren't they, to come away with all 3 points?
Good Lord. I mean, Hamza Chowdhury is a player for Leicester who generally I don't think is especially popular. He seems to be one of these sort of young sort of upstarts. He's got a bit of an attitude. Thinks he's a lot better than he is. But he was their man of the match by a long distance on Saturday for the 3 goal line clearances. Which I mean, West Brom were. I'm trying to think in my head whether our attacking misfiring on Saturday was better or worse than West Brom's in that game against Leicester. It was absolutely extraordinary, some of the chances they passed up.
The playoffs are going to be fun, aren't they?
Oh, it's good. I mean, yeah, if we play West Brom, that's going to be XG hell. It's going to be like XG of 4 each, and we might. And it'll be 0-0, and we'll.
There's another name for the Netflix documentary.
Win or lose on penalties.
XG hell.
Leicester weren't especially impressive, but as they've been doing all season, they created basically 3 really good chances, missed a penalty, and scored the other 2. And when you've got someone, I mean, I know he's in the sort of autumn of his career, but when you've got someone like Jamie Vardy up front, put the ball in the penalty area, and more often than not, the ball's probably going to end up in the back of the net. So, yeah, that's the concern that I think they've got the players that can just turn it on every so often, just at the point where everything looks as if it's about to fall apart. Whereas I think we're kind of the complete opposite. We kind of when everything's kind of fairly relaxed and chilled, we're brilliant. But then as soon as the pressure gets ratcheted up, it's unfortunately a different story.
You've chatted to a few of the Leicester fans, a few of their podcasts, more than most of us, Glenn. Do you think they would be expecting to be out of sight and home and hosed by now? What's their mood been like?
I don't know. You speak to a couple, and they were quite realistic. Even I think the lad we had on when we played them at home, Tom, he kind of said, "Well, we've won our first 5 games or whatever it was at the time, but we haven't played particularly well." He was quite realistic about the fact. And since Christmas, they've in terms of performances, they've been kind of pretty rotten most of the games, but they've managed to, obviously the big cushion that they had with the points they racked up in the first half of the season, they've managed to sort of like keep their heads above water just about. But they're definitely not as chirpy as they were at the start of the season. It comes with the territory of just having a bad run. I mean, they obviously thought they were going to win by 20 points and get 120 points or whatever, whatever the record is. They
wanted to beat Reading's record, didn't they?
Yeah, they were talking about beating that at the start of the season. But then you look at that. They've had all the financial stuff kind of hanging over their heads as well. I mean, there was never going to be enough joined up governance between the Premier League and the EFL for anything to happen this season. But then you look at their team. The midfield looks a very strong area. Ndidi, Winks, and Dewsbury Hall. That's 3 proper Premier League players, really.
Mm-hmm.
Mavididi was brilliant when we played them. When we played them at St Mary's, he was just unplayable. So, and obviously they've got Vardy or the hilarious Patson Daka to play up front. So,
hat-trick incoming.
Yeah, Daka hat-trick incoming. So, I mean, in defence, they we all know about Vestergaard, what he's good at and what he's not good at, and the pound shop David Luiz. Forgotten his name, Fass. He's got a mistake all over him, and I mean, every time he goes near the ball, you're waiting for him to do something stupid. So, I think they can be got at, but with regards to Leicester fans, I think they've possibly learnt a little bit of humility over the last sort of like few months, and but it looks like it's all going to work out for them, as Steve said. I think if they they promoted if they beat us? I think they might
If
be.
Leeds fail to win at
If
Middlesbrough.
Leeds fail to win,
Mm.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, it could be a big party day for them. But I think we go into it with kind of less pressure now, because I think we know that even if we win all three, the chances are we're not going to make the top two. So we've just got to go and enjoy ourselves and try and play on any sort of pressure they might be feeling. But yeah, it's just this. I'm just still very, very disappointed about the way we've blown it, because I was looking forward to this game being absolutely massive for both teams, and it's not quite the same now. Said we needed to win the 3 games, we won 2 of them, and then blew it at the end. But that's us for you.
Yeah, there was no room for a slip up, was there? Alfie, do you agree?
Nope.
Is it kind of like pressure off a little bit now on Tuesday night? We've kind of like settled for our fate, and looks like 4th place.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the table. What is it? It's 5 points off, 3 games to play for. So I mean, there's no chance, really. Obviously, hopefully that'll be clipped and I look stupid. There's obviously no chance. Yeah, they completely beaten, can't they? They lost 1-0 to Plymouth and Millwall in the last week, which is 2 poor results. They could be beaten. The pressure will be off. I think Russell Martin said to us after the game on Saturday at Cardiff that they've been outsiders the whole time anyway, so nothing's really changed for him. But I'm pretty sure that privately behind closed doors something would have changed, and that veil will have come off now. They knew what they need to do is prove to themselves that they can beat one of these top teams. I think they did that against Leeds, obviously back in September, but so much has changed since then. Didn't beat Ipswich, didn't get over the line. Obviously got thumped by Leicester last time as well. So I think there's an element of just proving to themselves they can go toe to toe with these teams and beat them. I'm interested to see what the team is, because if Flynn Downs is missing again, that's obviously another talking point. Will he want Jack Stevens in there just because of the way that they crumbled again? And last time they crumbled a couple of times, this only the once, but he brought him back in. Ryan Manning, he said hopefully he'll be fit, but if he's not, that's maybe the way they get Jack Stevens in. So there's a couple of different things to look at with the team. But yeah, I totally agree with Glenn. I was so looking forward to this being the biggest game of the season, like each of the last 4 have been. And now it won't feel that way now. It's probably huge for Leicester and not for us. So it's going to be quite a deflating one to be part of, I think.
Let's do some score predictions. If you're watching live, then make sure you drop us a little score prediction. Let us know what you think. Let's go around the screen and get the score predictions. Glenn's warming up the supercomputer. Steve, how do you see this one? I mean, it was quite a heavy defeat, wasn't it, at St Mary's back at the start of the season? So can you see us getting anything out of this?
I can. I think... I mean, it depends how seriously we take it now. Whether we do still believe that there is a slip up in these teams above us. If we've got a little bit of belief, then yeah, by all means we can go there and cause them issues. I mean, as we've discussed, their defence is a bit ropey. They can be got at. They gave up so many chances against West Brom that, I mean, if we create half as many, then I mean, you've got chances. It's then just about sticking the ball in the back of the net. And while we're obviously sort of down on our kind of conversion rate from Cardiff, I mean, you look at the goals for column, we have scored 80 more than 80 goals this season. So yeah, I mean, you've got to back yourself once at least, I think. I just kind of think it's going to be a result that doesn't actually suit either of us. I mean, obviously Leicester win, they're more or less up. But I fancy us to get a point, which probably doesn't really help either of us. 2-2.
2-2. Okay. Glenn, what's the computer saying tonight?
Computer says no.
The random number generator. Number Wang.
I mean, I've been pushing this theme since the start that, when the pressure is off a little bit, we tend to do better. So I think we're going to go there and win. I don't think they're great, and I think we've got a good chance of winning. A lot will depend on if Flynn Downs plays. Obviously, because we can't win without him. Certainly not the way we try and do things at the moment. We can't win without him. So if Downs is fit, then yeah, I'd happily predict us to win 2-1. But I do, on Alfie's point, I almost certainly think he'll go for the formation that has Jack Stevens at left back, like he did against Ipswich and like he did against West Brom.
Yep.
I think that'll be the way that he goes against the better teams. And Leicester are certainly one of those. But yeah, just for shits and giggles, really, I'll just go for a 2-1 win.
Could all be back on. Alfie, does it depend on the lineup and the team use? Like you said, there's quite a bit up in the air, isn't there? How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I think from just asking a few questions when we actually got to Cardiff, and Russell Martin said that it was pretty close for Flynn Downs, but I don't think he was as close as maybe he let on. So that makes me worry.
He did that before, didn't he? And he was out for like a month.
Yeah, so that makes me worry. And further to Glen's point, I think they played 9 games without Flynn Downs this season. They've won 2 of them, which for a team who are 4th in the division is remarkable. It's almost like when they went, 3 years without winning a game with Stuart Armstrong, or without Stuart Armstrong, sorry, from December 2019 to 2022. So I've only, maybe producer Alex can tell me differently, but I think I've only predicted a defeat once this season, and that was against Leeds in September. So I am going to go for a 2-1 Leicester win. I don't like to do it.
What, in the hope that we win 3-0?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
But if you are watching live, do stick your score predictions in the comments, and we will have an extra podcast on Thursday evening at 7:15 to cover off that game. So make sure you stick a note of that in your calendar, and we'll see you Thursday night at 7:15 for that one.